Hello, hi, and welcome to Belshire Vestige. We have a Bronze League game for you today. I'm here with Tim Funky Fresh Shindigs Young, and we have a TvP here. Up in the top left, we have a first-time player. This is his first game ever. We have Kumatora. And down in the bottom right, we have Griffith.
Yep, and Belshire Vestige, between these two players, so if these guys weren't first-time players, I could easily talk about, like, Belshire Vestige, is pretty good in terms of, for Terran mobility, in the sense that it's really easy to snipe the Protoss third base. It's really hard for Protoss to kind of defend across all three bases spread across the map. Like, their three bases are almost literally across the entire map, and that's a lot of space for often a Protoss player to defend. So it kind of favors a lot of good medevac drop. But what's going to be really interesting about this game is that, like you said, both these players are Bronze League players. So they're gonna play their own style. They're gonna play their own way. They're not gonna let any strategies or metagame hold down how they really want to express themselves. Through StarCraft.
We didn't come in here expecting perfect level play. Obviously, these players are bronze. Kumatora actually has never played a game before. This is his first multiplayer game ever. We're not really looking for normal play that we'd see on the ladder usually. We're going to see some odd plays and some that just make us sort of question the moves that they're making.
No, I mean, it's extremely fascinating to watch some of these players at a lower level play because they come in with kind of like their preconceived notions, right? Like, this is kind of how I think a strategy game like StarCraft should work. So what was really interesting is Kumatora actually sent out an extremely early scout with this probe here, and he's just going to go ahead and scout his opponent. Griffith's finally finding out what he's doing. Griffith right now actually not even starting his orbital command. That's okay. I think he just was waiting for his SCV to finish while he also took a... No, I think that's a fairly normal gas at the moment. It'll be interesting to see what he's going to use his first 100 gas for. Like, obviously he's not going to use it for any reactor openings. So I can only imagine he's going to go straight tech into factory or something of the the similar nature.
And Griffith with some fighting words, calling Kumatora a liar. I think he said something along the lines of, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And we can see Kumatora with a unconventional play already, going Gateway, Forge, Core with no gas. But you know what? Once again, Bronze League play. That's what we're going to see.
No, I mean, Kumatora, like, it's interesting for lower level players, like, they start to kind of try to figure out the game on their own, like, you can't really, some of them don't really know how to go online, look at build orders online from professional players, so they're trying to figure out this game on their own. So what's interesting here is, like, sometimes, they have these builds that they figure out, and, like, this is something I've took a really long time to figure out. I'm really proud of this strategy. And something that Kumatora is showing off here is he is getting his Forge, he did get a Cybernetics Core, and he did forget his gas. But, I mean, getting the Forge first, that could make sense in someone's head and kind of like, I need the Forge for either fast upgrades, or I need to defend really quick, because this game can be a bit scary. Someone could rush me really quickly, and I could, I could use some cannons up in this base. Griffith actually a bit paranoid about those cannons as well.
He may have been scouting for maybe a proxy Stargate or something.
Yeah.
I know that's a common placement. I don't know how often you see that build in Bronze League, but I suspect that's why those Marines had trundled their way over there.
Yeah, and Griffith right now, he actually did decide to build a factory and a reactor on his barracks, and actually switching into double helium production at the moment without expanding yet. So of course, yes, it would be optimal to expand with the command center first, but we're going to check out what Griffith actually wants to do here. He's also going to lay down a starport, so I'm not sure if he wants to do any fancy drops or 1-1-1 play, or if he's just going to expand off, having one piece of tech in his tech tree. Right now, taking a look at Kumatora, he did lay down 2 more gates and is just grabbing his first gas. I think he realizes that he does need gas to get any vital upgrades or begin teching up the path, teching up in his tech tree a bit further, because at the moment he's a bit stuck. He's a bit stuck in his tech tree.
And one thing that I do want to say about these players that's really impressing me, actually, we have not seen a supply block.
That is true. They are already way better than I will ever be because I would have gotten supply blocked 15 times over. Though Griffith has laid down the emergency supply depot right here. He does have a super supply depot because I think he was afraid of getting supply blocked at the back of his base. So it's vital that he's not going to lose that. Griffith right now is going to go up and harass with a couple more Hellions at the moment, and this actually could do a lot of damage. Kumatora doesn't have anything.
Yeah, there's no stalkers, there's no mothership core. These probes are in some danger. He should try to pull them, but nope, the Hellions aren't going to even go after the probes right away. They're going to try to get rid of those zealots.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this
Kumatora might actually be okay here.
Well, Kumatora, he needs to really rely on the fact that Griffith may not pay full attention to these Hellions at the moment, because the micro from Griffith could be a bit better, but he is still sniping a couple of probe kills. He has 7 probe kills to a 0, as Kumatora has not even moved outside of his base at the moment, and Griffith is actually displaying some really good judgment here. While he's getting ahead, he is getting more ahead by choosing to expand during this harassment, and Kumatora right now, he's realizing how vital it is to get the Stalker out, but he's not getting them out right away. He's just kind of...
and he's sitting on Chrono Boost. He should really try to Chrono those out. He has Zealots queued up.
Yeah, I
don't know.
That did not go well for Kumatora at all. But though surprisingly, he's ahead in supply. Though he did lose 8 workers. And when taking a look at the harvester count, Kumatora is still 3 workers ahead. So actually, that's something Griffith absolutely had to do to bring himself back into the game, is kill a couple more workers to even it out with his opponent, since his worker production has not been spot on like Kumatora has been. Right now, Griffith is going to build another barracks and also finish up his natural expansion, while Kumatora actually is just going to continue building zealots here.
Yeah, you know what I actually almost like to see him do right now is just take these zealots, run down here and see what he can do, because he actually hasn't moved out of his base at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's scared to move out. It is looking like he's going to expand here. But just bringing down those zealots and seeing what kind of damage he can do would actually be good for him right now.
Yeah, Kumatora though is this is so interesting because he's still way ahead of his opponent in supply. He is supply stuck, which these 2 pylons in the Nexus will help clear up, but Kumatora at the moment does have the supply lead, and like you're right, he could move down and kind of harass his opponent a bit, if not outright kill the natural expansion. But I think Kumatora is a bit unconfident. You said this might be his first multiplayer game, so he might not be sure if that might be the right move. He's just going to play it safe and take his expansion at the natural.
And we've reached sort of a stale point in this game, but that can be expected. These players are probably focusing on their very fundamentals. Warp gate research is done. I'd expect these to be turned into warp gates as soon as those units all pop.
Yeah, I mean, for both these players right now, I think they're even though Griffith did the harassment, he is feeling a bit intimidated. He did walk into the base. He did lose a good number of Hellions. Kind of the first 4 Hellions that he built, he lost them all, and none of them could escape. And he is focusing on getting more ahead. He knows he killed a lot of probes. He knows he has his natural expansion up, a lot quicker than his opponent. So he might be focusing on that to win in the long run.
Even with all those probe kills they did get, he's only ahead by a few harvesters. With Kumatora's superior worker production, I would actually expect him to catch up pretty soon here. But then again, Terran has mules, so that really is not as close as it may seem.
Yeah, and even as you say that, Griffith actually shot up ahead in the worker count, as his production of SCVs has doubled as he got his natural expansion up at the moment. The natural expansion should turn into an orbital command soon to give him even more of an advantage as well. Griffith's unit's composition is looking rather peculiar. He does have 2 Hellions, and it looks like he's pumping kind of like just straight Marines and Hellions right now, getting a lot of reactors on his barracks and also his starport, and getting another starport as well. So I mean, he could clean up this base structure just a bit, but I think overall his unit composition may be adept to deal with Kumatora has, though Kumatora still does kind of have the army advantage here if you take a look at the composition.
One thing that I do want to mention real quick is that on Kumatora's side of the map, there's no Robo. We see no Twilight Council or Stargate. There's no higher tech of any kind. And quite similarly, on Griffith's side, we see no stim, no combat shield, no Marauders. So, a lot of tech choices of these players are kind of odd. An odd place for a third base. But, just some odd plays coming out of these players, but, that's what we expected.
Yeah, Griffith right now is taking an extremely strange, or not, excuse me, extremely unconventional third base here. I mean, you could place a third base here to just kind of mind game your opponent, though often your opponent may scout the area as they're moving across the map to kind of attack your natural expansion or your normal third base, which is normally placed at this edge of the map here. Another interesting thing is that what he could possibly do, and this is very mind gaming and metagaming and almost suboptimal, is he could take his metavacs and just drop his units really closely at this base here, at his unconventional third base here, straight from the main. Kumatora at the moment is just kind of building up his army. He's feeling really comfortable with his unit composition, and he's just kind of sticking with what he knows best. Apparently, does have a robotics facility up, and I would only imagine he's going to go for Colossus as he pushes that robotics bay down.
If he is going for Colossus, I would like to see him grab some more gas. He is only at 2 gases right now in his main. Getting his gases at his natural would probably be a good move for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he does have 2 gas in the main base. Actually, 2 gas in the natural might, for the unit composition that it seems like he's going for, just pure Stalker and Zealot, it should be fine. But yeah, optimally, he should actually start expanding to his third base and getting those extra gases. But yeah. I don't think that's going to be necessary because Griffith is now moving out across the map.
Oh yeah, that's right. And this is going to be trouble for him, for Kumatora here.
Well, it's going to be trouble, especially if Griffith is going to siege up. But if he forgets, Kumatora actually might have a slight window to attack his opponent. So Kumatora right now, actually, if he had charge, it would be even worse.
Did he see him on the watchtower? Do we know? Did he cross the watchtower at all?
I think he has, but he's not doing a lot to prepare, even if he did. I want to say if he did see it, it was only going to be a slight sliver of the army that he saw, so he might not even be that worried. But Kumatora has to be worried because there's a huge army moving in right now.
And here's the engagement. This will probably decide it.
Yeah,
Zealots are moving in. That Zealot's getting stuck in the Stalkers. The tanks are sieged up, and there's not much that Kumatora is going to be able to do here as the Zealots do fall.
Yeah, I mean, the Zealots really had to get up there extremely faster. The charge upgrade would have helped immensely there, and it looks like Griffith might be poised to take this game as Kumatora does not have that many units back at home to reinforce. He does have 1 Colossus out, but against these siege tanks, it's going to do rather minimal damage in order to help him hold on to his natural expansion.
And again, he got Warp Gate tech, but he's just not utilizing it.
Yeah. I mean, he did spend that money on the Warp Gate tech, but all his Warp Gates are normal at the moment, and Griffith is poised to is poised to take Kumatora's natural expansion.
And that Colossus is going to try his best, but his best is not good enough as he does fall. And the forces of Griffith here are just going to go to work on the natural.
Yeah, I mean, Kumatora's Colossus was kind of like his last ace in the hole, and without that, these 2 Zealots are going to do very, very little against Griffith's force right now. Looking back at Griffith's base, he's not going to reinforce with too much of a heavy army, but this is actually all he may need. This Stalker from Kumatora is not going to do much as the tanks siege up at the ramp, and this is looking extremely worse for Kumatora as this game is going to look to wrap up in just a bit.
If only Protoss buildings could lift off and float away, I would totally do that at this instant.
Yeah.
Kumatora throwing out the "I tried, yo," presumably followed by GG.
Well, that might be as close as to a GG as we will get here, as it looks like Kumatora might actually make Griffith eliminate all of his buildings as per the StarCraft 2 victory conditions, where you have to eliminate all of your opponent's buildings. So right now, Griffith is sitting pretty, feeling fine, and it looks like he's actually going to come and reinforce with a couple more units.
Yeah, that Colossus is not going to do a whole lot, as the tanks are going to eliminate it. Fight to the last man, Kumatora. Go ahead. I think as that gateway does get destroyed, his other gate gets unpowered, he's probably going to have no choice but to either GG out or let Griffith finish him off.
Well, I mean, Kumatora might actually think it's a bit rude to leave a game early before it's over, so he might not know that GGing out is a thing, because apparently he's not, oh, he might be leaving right now. He says, thanks for the experience. He did play well. He did play well. I won't be playing this game again. Oh, boy.
I would like to mention something. I asked Kumatora to play a game.
Yeah.
He's not a StarCraft player. He's a good friend of mine, but he just is. He's not into StarCraft, and I asked him to play a game for me so that we could cast this game. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I was here with Tim today, and we had a good time casting this Bronze League game for you, and we'll be back with more StarCraft action in the future.
Resumed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Akalon Waste, here with some more StarCraft action for you today. Some ZVZ, as I introduce our players here. At the bottom right-hand corner, we have Isis, or Iz's Duchess, and it's actually his birthday today.
Awesome.
And, yep. And up in the top left, we have the other Red Zerg, Sunny.
Yep, so both these players, I understand, are in Platinum League, correct?
Yep, it is a Platinum level game.
So these guys, ZVZ on Akalon Waste, ZVZ as always, I feel, has always kind of been about mind games. So obviously you and your opponent know how Zerg works, you know how all the Zerg build orders, you know what Zerg build orders you can do, and possibly he can do them as well. So sometimes it's all about picking out your opponent, and it's even more important in ZVZ because the game can go really, really fast, right? Like speedlings can flood you extremely, extremely early into the game.
That early game ZVZ is often described as a knife fight, and that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
One big baneling detonation, or your Zerglings getting caught out of position, or one player getting speed sooner than the other, can really turn the tide of the game.
Yep. And it looks like Isis Duchess here is actually going to go for a 14 pull, while Sunny hasn't even started his pull yet. I'm not sure if he's going to go for a hatch first. It looks like he is.
It looks like that drone is head down that way to start his hatchery.
Ooh, so this actually might be a quick win for Duchess if he does capitalize on this properly. Sunny can hold this off, so what Sunny can do is if he immediately puts down his next pull, just saves up a lot of larvae, saves up everything he needs to do, he can build enough Zerglings to hold off any kind of early Zergling aggression from Duchess. And this is even a better position for Sunny at the moment because Duchess went ahead and put his hatchery at his natural expansion as well. So he's going to expand off one pool, which means he's going to have less resources for Zerglings to harass his opponent. For right now, Sunny is a bit safer. He's just a bit safer, and he's also going to grab his gas along the same time as Duchess, while Duchess, actually, his gas is finishing up right now.
Yeah, Duchess is definitely looking to get aggressive here in the early game with the earlier gas. Can be used for speed, early speed, or if he stays on, you can get a Baneling nest followed by, of course, Banelings.
Yeah, of course. And Sunny right now is actually going to have his natural expansion finished before his opponent, and this actually might give him a slight advantage because he's going to have the production advantage for quite some time. Considering the fact that no Zerglings have come out for Duchess right now, so he hasn't really capitalized on his advantage with having the pull first. He does get the queen out earlier.
Yeah, I was about to say there was a later queen for Sunny, so that production advantage that you were talking about, he may have just given that a little bit to Duchess, as his hatchery will be finishing up now, and he already has his first queen out.
Yeah, for sure. And Duchess is actually going to start a second queen at the moment, while Sunny is going to have two queens pop out at once. A completely standard play there from Sunny. Duchess at the moment he's not going to lay down a Baneling nest. Oh, actually, he doesn't have the gas for it either, and Sunny doesn't have the resources for it either. So it's going to be interesting to see, are they going to not get the Baneling nest and just go straight for roaches or even mutas? Sunny actually getting a bit more defensive here. He's going to put one spine crawler at the front of his base, completely standard, completely normal thing to do. If you're feeling just a bit defensive here, this is definitely going to hold off this aggression here coming out from Duchess. He's sending a couple Zerglings across the map, just to poke around at Sunny's base, and he's actually going to build a Baneling nest as well.
You know, these Zerglings are just going to be there to poke around, see how greedy he's being, but I suspect after he sees that spine crawler, that might deter some of the aggression that he was planning. Or they're just going to sit at the bottom of the ramp to make sure that he can spot any attack coming.
Yeah. Well, that's also good as well, and he can also get a couple run bys if he sees Sunny is completely at opposition. So Duchess at the moment is I'm trying to look at the tab here. It is droning up very very hard at the moment. So Duchess is doing the best he can to kind of get the economy advantage. He's actually going to get a late Baneling nest. So all these Banelings that he's going to make might have to be defensive if Sunny decides to go on the offensive. But
And
taking
speed did just finish for Duchess too, so he may switch gears here a little bit. Nope, as I say that, 8 drones in production.
Yeah, well, I mean, he might be able to inch out just a couple more drones, knowing that his Banelings might be able to get the critical hits that they need. Sunny actually doing a really nice wall-in to make sure nothing gets in too many angles, and he's going to move out on the map with his Zerglings as well, but they do not have speed.
No, they don't. It actually did just finish up for him, so
Okay.
he'll have speed as well now. We do see an earlier lair for Sunny. It's just now finishing up, while Duchess is still in production.
Yeah, I mean, for Duchess, he is building a couple of defensive Banelings, but I feel like he could move across the map to be a bit more offensive, and he just would have to bypass the Spore Crawler and kind of go straight for the drone line of Sunny. I mean, Duchess at the moment is just teching up with his lair while Sunny's is already done, so he might be going for that Spire tech extremely soon, if not +1 with +1 with fast roaches. And Sunny is also going to get a second gas to prepare himself for whatever lair tech he so chooses.
As you see, both players with pretty good Overlord position. Actually, I do like the Overlord positioning from both these players. They're doing a really good job seeing as much of the map as we can. Sunny taking both of those watchtowers, but losing one to Duchess there.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Oh, actually, Duchess is actually going to go for a Roach Warren right now. So he's not going to go for Spire attacks, or a Spire tech, excuse me, while Sunny at the moment has not chosen a lair tech path. He's kind of sticking to Zerglings and Banelings, which is completely fine. He might just go pure Zergling Baneling with fast Baneling speed. This could be very interesting, especially if he hits before the critical amount of roaches can pop out for Duchess, but it could also be really risky and dangerous. If Duchess gets too many roaches, Banelings and Zerglings won't even matter.
But you know, Sunny, who on the same note had the earlier lair, is also not going for any lair tech of his own. We see no Infestation Pit, no Spire. It looks like he too is just sticking to Ling Baneling.
Yeah, well, Duchess has actually just popped a few roaches, the first 5 roaches out in his composition, and also going to get a Hydralisk Den. So he's going to go Roach Hydra, while Sunny is going to get an Infestation Pit. So he might be going Swarm Host, and even more peculiarly, he might go Infestors.
Interesting choice. You know, I could see he is getting the melee attack, so maybe an Infestor Ling Ultra, eventually a Hive Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And as I do say that, he throws down a Spire. I know that's a composition that a lot of Zerg players are going for. I'm not sure how it does in this matchup. I tend to always go for my Mutalisks. We see a lot of Zerglings moving across the map here.
Well, I mean, Mutalisk since the spore nerf, or the spore buff, excuse me, has been very, very, sometimes a bit risky to do, and sometimes doesn't pay off exactly the way you want to. But right now, Sunny might be hitting at a really critical timing. If you can actually smash these Banelings into a majority of roaches, the roaches may melt extremely fast, but he's going to still deal with the Banelings of Duchess. This is a really, really critical situation for Sunny.
We see Duchess sort of posturing up on the ramp, getting the best defensive position that he possibly can. I'm not sure that Sunny knows if he wants to push up there or not.
Yeah, I mean, all those Banelings spread out from Duchess can be really, really risky to engage, and especially since Zerglings might be really hard to control as they swarm around the units. So he may choose to move back, but I think he's just going to kind of main poise on the offensive, and if Duchess moves out at the wrong time, he can go back and backstab. The other thing he's doing is he is containing his opponent and actually going to expand and take his third of his own. Right now, Duchess cannot take his third.
A really smart move here from Duchess that I'm really liking is keeping these Hydras back on the ramp. He's not revealing them as part of his main army.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe fool Sunny into going Muta, and suddenly he's flooded with a few Hydras.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really, really hard engagement here from Sunny because, oh my god, that trade was not good for Sunny at all, seeing as his His composition is mainly Zergly Baneling. He cannot afford to lose them. He cannot afford to lose too many Banelings to other Banelings. He needs to really crash the Banelings in on the main army of Duchess. And Duchess at the moment might be free to expand on his own, but he's not doing that at the moment. He has the supply lead, so he might need to take this time to get on the offensive.
I actually didn't see it, but Hydra Speed is done.
Mm-hmm.
We have +1 attack. This is a nice little +1 timing that Duchess might be going for here. He does have quite a supply lead, and these Muta, are they going to be enough to deal with these Hydra and Duchess's army?
I don't think so. I mean, there are only 7 Mutalisks, and there are a lot more Hydras than that.
Now, as more Hydras do join the army, Duchess should feel confident going in here that he does have the army supply advantage.
The one thing that Sunny has going for him is if he actually surrounds with a lot of Banelings, this could be really bad, but this engagement is not going optimally for Sunny at the moment.
Oh, and all those canceled Banelings will never get a chance to do what Banelings are supposed to do, which is blow everything up.
Yeah.
Those mutants do melt the Hydra. And I think there's too much here from Duchess now.
Yeah, Duchess, this actually might be the game-winning blow here from Duchess, as Sunny cannot reinforce with enough Mutalisks or enough Zerglings or Banelings to kind of put a dent on this army. The Roaches are going to be too strong. The Hydras have too much DPS, and this is going to be a really, really quick game here if Duchess just decides to move up the natural expansion. It looks like he's playing it a bit cautious, but he's going to eventually move up the ramp. He does have an Overseer just to make sure there are no Burrow Banelings, but he's going to start moving up right now.
And as the reinforcements do stream across the map, this definitely does look like it's going to go in Duchess's favor. Hitting a nice timing right before +2/+2 is done for those Zerglings, as Sunny does GG out, leaving the birthday boy the winner here on Akalon Wastes. Well, that was another StarCraft cast by Imp and Tim Funky Fresh Shindigs Young.
For sure, and I feel like Duchess played that game really, really well, played it really patiently with the right unit composition, and he moved out exactly the right time that he should have. So really props to Duchess there for the really good play.
Yep, ZBZ, always interesting. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Alright, you feel like doing one more, or are you done?
Yeah, I gotta be done right now. So.
Alright, cool. Yeah, just send me that, and I'll get that up.